Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the deciding game in the last semi-final here at the Vasacast Invitational. We've got roxkisFRAER going up against local hero Cloud, and the map of choice is going to be Ohana, the final map here before the finals and, of course, the third, fourth place playoffs. Let's see who takes it. Let's get into the game. Welcome to Ohana, ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the bottom right-hand position, winning game number 1, but losing to game number 2 after forcing his opponent into a 4-gate, which he wasn't able to defend against in the end. Let's see what happens here in game 3. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Cloud. He's going to be facing off against the green Protoss player in the top left position, micromanaging that 4-gate really, really well there. At the end, a very scary moment in the middle, though, where he wasn't really doing any damage to the bunker that made us think he might be going down, but able to rally it together. He needs to do it twice in a row, though, if he wants to reach the final. This is roxkisFRAER. Alright, guys, so that was an incredible 2 games. Of course, the first game on Cloud Kingdom, we saw sustained pressure against the third base of FRAER, where the Nexus was actually taken down twice during that game, both times with a handful of units that were on effectively no hit points, but Cloud able to pull it off only just by the skin of his teeth. In game number 2, Cloud turned on the metagaming pressure. We saw him go for that engineering bay block, and we also saw him go for the second gas steal to try and force his opponent into a 4-gate, and FRAER did just that and was able to just about squeeze out the victory, which brings us here into game 3. FRAER, this game around, is going to be going for a Nexus first, and we also see a command center first coming down for Cloud. So both players this time looking to go into a macro game. Of course, the barracks going down straight after that second command center. I don't remember the last time I saw or casted a game where we went 3cc before racks, but I guess it's possible. So we're going to be seeing macro-oriented builds from both of these guys to round off this series. We can see a probe here, just going to be doing a quick scout to make sure that there aren't any really crazy proxy shenanigans going down near the base. And he should be able to see that everything is fine. Now, a pretty popular proxy location is sort of around this tree line here. But it looks like the probe isn't going to be going for that this time around. The SCV scout, in the meantime, is going straight for the Protoss main. Barracks number 2 and 3 as well. Barracks number 2, rather, is finishing up soon for Cloud. He's going to be able to get a couple more Marines out to potentially defend against early pressure. But once he sees that, in fact, the Nexus first went down for FRAER, he's going to be feeling a little bit more comfortable with it. He's going to know that, oh, hang on a second, I shouldn't necessarily be expecting some sort of super early pressure. But having 2 barracks producing Marines is just going to give him that little bit extra security. The orbital command is going to be coming in now, and he will be able to float that down to the natural. So that double mule is going to come in very, very handy to try and get ahead economically, because the worker supply is currently 25 to 19 in FRAER's favor. Thanks to, of course, early chrono boosts on those next side to get those probes out. But Cloud's going to have 2 mules to work with very shortly indeed. Second gas now being taken by our Protoss player, and also getting a pylon down in a nice location to potentially scout for drops a little bit earlier. What typically happens is if a drop ship comes in and is spotted by the pylon, maybe they'll drop here instead of back here, and it just buys an extra few valuable seconds for a Protoss player to potentially get his army back, or maybe to warp in additional units. We have the first Zealot popping up here, and this is going to look like a bit of an episode of StarCraft Master. We're going to be running away with 1 Marine and shooting with the other 2, and FRAER goes, no, hang on a second, I've seen that episode, I know exactly what happens, and I am not going to have any part in it whatsoever. In the meantime, barracks number 3 now going down as well. We also see the tech lab going down so that Cloud can get that stim nice and early in the game almost supply blocked a little bit here. In fact, will be, but only for literally a second or two as that supply depot finishes up. So nice timing from him there. And we should be able to get Stim on the way very quickly indeed. Now up to 120 gas. He'll be popping that down in just a second. In the meantime, though, look at this. We have 6 gateways inside the main base at a reasonably early stage from FRAER here. So maybe he wants to end game number 3 on Ohana with a very quick early pressure. Stim just starting for Cloud now. He has the 1 bunker, but it looks like gateways are going to be the order of the day. Cloud has not scouted any of this, and if he scans around here, okay, he will actually see most of the gateways, if not all of them, but he needs to scout this out quickly if he wants to know what's coming. Sentry now going to be moving out across the map now, and a Stalker just going to double check that it is in fact a bunker around there. A second bunker is going up now for Cloud, which is going to make it slightly frustrating for FRAER's 6 gate. Let's see if he can make it happen though. 6 gateways off of 2 base. And we have a 3rd gas coming down at the natural for Cloud as well. That's going to help facilitate his factory and starport units a little bit faster than he otherwise would have. No reactor on these barracks at the moment because he is trying to churn out units like there's no tomorrow. He suspects a potential pressure coming in from FRAER, and he wants to make sure he has more than enough Marines to deal with it. So let's see what FRAER's response to this is. And it looks like he's warping in an awful lot of units over here on the left-hand side, so he's definitely thinking about going for it. A decent number of Zealots as well to tank early damage, but we need a couple more Stalkers, really, to see if he can do that DPS. Does this bunker see? Yes, it does. So we know that some pressure is going to be coming in. He counts at least 3 tickle guns from those sentries and at least a couple of Zealots whacking away these walls. And look at this. Bunkers number 3 and 4 now going down for Cloud as well. He's going to attempt to defend this with everything he's got. SCV's already being pulled to the bunkers, and here we go. FRAER moving up the ramp. We've got Guardian Shield coming up. The SCVs, are they on hold position or are they on repair? It looks like they're preventing the Zealots from actually getting in at the moment. The Stalker's doing a decent amount of DPS to the workers from behind, but the bunkers are relatively untouched. Bunkers number 3 and 4 are actually going to complete as well. Is FRAER going to be able to go around? The number of workers killed is 12 and counting. The first bunker goes down, but there are 3 more available here. Nice force field trapping a couple more workers, and he's gone up to 17 workers killed. The current worker supply is 43 to 27 in FRAER's favor, and FRAER very smartly moves out. Is he going to come in for round number 2? I feel like he can just move back and have an advantage here because he has a great supply lead, 83 to 49, but no, he's actually going for it, taking down the first bunker. There are still 2 more available. Cloud currently on 49 supply, the second bunker going down, and FRAER might be able to do this here. Another warp in waiting for that before he goes and attacks the last bunker. Only a single Marauder in that, so not an awful lot to worry about. Great force fields as well, preventing more of the army from coming down. The factory coming to float over these units now, and Cloud desperately trying to hold the bunker, is being repaired by a lot of SCVs, but look at the sheer number of Stalkers in this composition. He's just going to go all the way around the bunker, force a lift off the orbital command. He's currently up 81 supply to 43, picking off the bunker while the SCVs were in retreat. And now it's going to be a slugfest. The army supply, though, is significantly larger for FRAER, and it looks like Cloud is going to be losing this, and he will not be representing Italy in the finals. Unfortunately, FRAER might have done enough here. He's nearly at 100 supply, and Cloud down to below 40 on 1 base. This 6 gate should be able to win FRAER game number 3, picking off more and more SCVs, picking off some supply depots as well, even though Cloud is nowhere close to supply caps. And this is looking dire indeed. Stim is complete. No combat shield, no concussive shell though. And FRAER now potentially moving up the ramp, leading with the Zealot just to see what's going on. Some stimmed units, needs to be a bit careful about that, but he can actually go back and get some reinforcements, maybe get a little bit more tech as well, which is exactly what he's doing. Getting a Forge, Twilight Council halfway through, researching Blink as well. If he wins with this pressure, great. If he doesn't, no problem. He's currently around double the supply of his opponent, and he can afford to wait. And the factory going to get taken out in the middle of the map because it's right in the retreat path of these Stalkers. Suicidal factory driver is suicidal, ladies and gentlemen, and that is going to go down in a massive explosion. A couple of parts littering the ground here on Ohana, and Cloud is in a world of trouble. More Zealots being warped in. We have Chrono Boost going down on both Blink and that +1 ground weapons. We also have a second Forge on the way behind the natural as well, and FRAER is ahead by a lot. He's up to 103 supply versus 62, and the worker count is 51 to 24. FRAER, even with those double mules from Cloud, is mining about 50% more than his Terran opponent. We have an engagement here at the offensive watchtower. A lot of Stalkers going down very quickly here, though. Fryer needs to be very careful. He doesn't have that many sentries left. In fact, only one with his army composition, and there are the Zealots. He really wanted them at the beginning of the engagement, but if he picks off the medevacs here, that could be huge. Yes, a massive blink forward, picking apart one medevac and almost getting the second one. The Zealots, though, continuing to march forward, and it looks like Cloud is once again going to have to retreat from his natural expansion, bringing the SCVs to bear as well. Is it going to be enough? Look at how low hit points this army is. I think Fryer can turn around and take this, but he instead is choosing to go home at this point. I think Fryer could have pushed in and maybe forced a lift on the orbital, at the very least at the natural, but he's actually interested in coming in from the other direction. He's not giving up yet. He's not going home. Another stim comes down. 3 medevacs with this army at the moment. Good blink back. Yes, the Zealots are now in the front and tanking the damage that Fryer wanted them to tank earlier on. Are we going to see a blink forward? Are we going to get the medevac sniped off? A couple more SCVs going down as well, and Blink Micro going into the back. There's the offensive blink. He feels he can take the game now. The Marauders are going down. GG! And Fryer, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be in the finals, facing off against a Lucifron.